Let's bow together in brief prayer. Dear God, again we ask very simply that the words of my mouth and the meditations of our hearts might find acceptance in your sight. Amen. Trinity United Church has a number of ministry initiatives that have arisen from her membership and supporters through the various teams that are being fulfilled quite nicely. Some ministries are fulfilled daily, weekly, and some monthly. One of our teams that is consistent in dreaming new ways to care for our Trinity folk and community is the Christian Community Team. The Christian Community Team gathers once a month to visit Willowdale, Van Horn, and Broadview for worship and song. The team organizes weekly home visits within the community. Members of the congregation are encouraged to let the Christian Community Team know whom you would like to see visited. And all members of the congregation are welcome and invited to share. Healing Pathway falls under the mandate of Christian Community and is a means of care. To this is added individual visits, the distribution of bulletins, our daily bread, devotional materials, and prayers. Providing leadership in pastoral care is one of the mandates of Christian Community, and the team exercise this mandate well and often. Now, one would think that with all this caring activity taking place on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis, that each member of the team would be quite used to and comfortable with and confident in all their encounters. However, what is a person supposed to say when they visit someone who's deeply discouraged? Or I don't know what to do when faced with the deep pain of another, are not uncommon expressions. Words such as these express a lingering concern that many people have when they face the burdens of another. Even if you have visited hundreds of times, it is not easy to enter into the pain of another person. How do you face the discouragement of a person you love? What do you say to a person who is tired and waiting for their own death? What can you promise a person who knows that their illness will not be resolved through a physician's care? How do you approach a person who knows that they will never be healthy again? Well, you may ignore the problem, say and do nothing. You may deflect, change the subject into something more pleasant. Or you may disappear, avoid the person altogether. All of these responses leave the person alone in their grief or in their pain. Next Sunday is Palm Sunday, the beginning of Holy Week. For the crowds, it is a celebration of the coming kingdom. For Jesus, it is the beginning of the end. And Jesus was clear when he spoke to his disciples about this. Peter ignored him. In response to Jesus stating that he would enter Jerusalem, be betrayed, that he would suffer and die, Peter says, "No, Lord, may it never be." James and John deflect it. In response to Jesus stating that he would enter Jerusalem, be betrayed, suffer, and die, James and John say, "Master, can one of us sit on your right and the other on your left when you enter into your glory?" And all 12 ran away when Jesus was taken in the garden. Mary, the sister of Martha and Lazarus, whom Jesus raised from the dead, was different and unique in the Gospels. Mary took a pound of costly perfume made of pure nard, anointed Jesus' feet, and wiped them with her hair. The house was filled with the fragrance of the perfume. But Judas Iscariot, one of the 12 disciples, said, "Why was this perfume not sold for 300 denarii and the money given to the poor?" Jesus said, "Leave her alone. She bought it so that she might keep it for the day of my burial." In this act, Mary was saying, "I hear you." Mary sat at the feet of Jesus and listened while Martha was busy in another portion of the gospel. In this act, Mary was saying, "I believe you." Mary heard what Jesus said about his impending suffering, and her act of anointing him was not a generalized expression of love. It was specific to preparing Jesus for burial. And in this act, Mary was saying, "I care." Mary could not stop the cross. Jesus was subsequently betrayed, he suffered, and he died. Jesus, however, in Mary's act, was blessed as a child is blessed, whose wounds receive a kiss and a Band-Aid. The sting does not go away, but loneliness, the isolation of living with the knowledge of his suffering, was taken away by the gift of Mary's presence and care. Green Shirt Day is an opportunity to hear the stories of those in need. Green Shirt Day is an opportunity to believe, to acknowledge that the need is real. And Green Shirt Day is an opportunity to care, to make a commitment. And I'm going to ask Cynthia if she will come and speak to Green Shirt Day.
This is a message from the Canadian Transplant Association, Give the Gift of a Lifetime. You may recall the Humboldt Broncos bus crash in Saskatchewan on April 6, 2018. The crash involved players and staff from the Humboldt Junior Ice Hockey team. On April the 7th, 2018, Logan Boulay succumbed to his injuries, and his parents offered to donate his organs so that 6 lives could be saved. They did so because Logan had signed his organ registration card and had spoken to his parents about his wishes. As news spread of his donations, over 100,000 Canadians registered to become organ donors in the weeks to follow. Logan brought us hope from tragedy. In Canada, our organ donor registration numbers need to improve. 90% of Canadians say they support organ and tissue donation, but only 23% actually completed their registration. Born from this is this year's inaugural Green Shirt Day on April the 7th, which honors, remembers, and recognizes all the victims and families of this tragedy, and carries on Logan's legacy to increase awareness and inspire more Canadians to register as donors. Green Shirt Day wants to carry forward this hope and encourage you to have the talk with your families about your wishes. Trinity United Church is thankful for the double lung donation that Jackie Boaxander received in 2016 to improve her quality of life. So I urge you to talk to your family and friends. Be a donor. More information is available on the bulletin board at the top of the stairs or on the Trillium Gift of Life Network Ontario website. Thank you.
Thank you, Cynthia. And of course, we remain in the season of Lent. We remain in a season of rest. Lent is a season of refreshment and restoration. Let us reflect on those areas of our life that are in need of refreshment and restoration. Let us make our needs known. Let us consider ways that others are in need of the same gifts. To be heard, to be believed, to receive care. In the wilderness of Lent and beyond, let us listen, let us believe, and let us care. Like Mary, let us pour the anointing oil of blessing upon those in need, with no expectation beyond a demonstration that the person has been heard, that they are believed, and that we care. And find in this that we too are blessed.